Do you wake up every day feeling like something is missing? You open your eyes. The sun is shining. A new day has started. But something feels wrong. You feel tired, even after a full night of sleep. You lie in bed and think, what should I do today? But you don't move. You check your phone. You scroll through social media. You watch videos. You laugh a little. But deep inside, you still feel empty. The clock keeps ticking. The hours pass. And you still haven't done anything important. You want to do better. You want to feel strong. You want to change your life. But somehow, every day feels the same. You say to yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. But when tomorrow comes, nothing changes. You say it again and again and again, and the days become weeks. The weeks become months. You feel stuck. You feel lazy. You feel like you're wasting your life. But you don't know how to stop. You don't know where to start. And that feeling, it grows heavier with time. If this sounds like your life, you are not alone. Many people feel this way. People of all ages, from all over the world, have the same problem. The problem is not that they are lazy. The problem is that they are lost. They have forgotten how to begin. Today, you will hear a story. A true story. A simple story. The story of a young man named Mark. Mark lives in the USA. He is like many people. He had big dreams, but he also had bad habits. He wanted to change his life, but he didn't know how. This story is not about someone perfect. It's about someone real. Someone who was stuck. Someone who felt lazy. Someone who wanted more, but didn't know where to begin. Mark's story is not special, but what he did with his life, that is what matters. Because Mark found a way to break the cycle. He found a way to take control. And if he can do it, maybe you can too. So sit back. Listen closely. You might just see yourself in this story. And, who knows, by the end of this video, you might be ready to start your own. Mark is 21 years old. He lives in a small, quiet town in the USA. His life is peaceful on the outside. The streets are calm. The houses are clean. The neighbors smile. But inside Mark's heart and mind, things do not feel peaceful. Mark has big dreams. He wants to do something special with his life. He wants to learn new things, help his family, travel the world, and feel proud of himself. He wants to grow, to change, to become successful. But there is a problem. Mark has dreams, but he takes no action. He wants a better life, but he does, or not do anything to build it. He says many things in his mind. I will work hard. I will study. I will change. But those words stay inside his head. They never become real. Every day looks the same for Mark. He wakes up late, sometimes at 10 a.m., sometimes at 11. He picks up his phone before he even gets out of bed. He checks his messages. He opens social media. He watches short videos for hours. He laughs a little, but he doesn't feel happy. His eyes get tired. His head starts to hurt, but he keeps scrolling. He gets up, eats some snacks, and sits on the couch. He tells himself, I'll do something useful after lunch. But after lunch, he feels sleepy. He lies down and takes a nap. The nap becomes 2 hours. Sometimes 3. In the evening, he thinks about the day. I didn't do anything again, he says. He feels sad. He feels lazy. But he tells himself, tomorrow I will try. Tomorrow always sounds like a good day. But when tomorrow comes, nothing changes. This happens every day. It is a cycle, a circle. It never ends. Mark is not a bad person. He is kind. He loves his family. He wants to improve, but he is stuck. His mind is full of fog. His body feels weak. His heart is heavy. He doesn't know where to begin, and so he never begins. But life will not wait forever. Something needs to change. And for Mark, that change is coming soon. Mark wakes up at 11 a.m. The room is quiet. The sunlight comes through the window, but he does not feel fresh. His head feels heavy. His eyes are tired. He lies in bed for a few minutes, just looking at the ceiling. He picks up his phone. He starts scrolling. First, social media. Then, short videos. Some are funny, some are interesting, but most are just a way to pass time. He doesn't even notice how fast time is moving. Minutes become hours. He is still sitting on the bed. He hasn't brushed his teeth. He hasn't taken a shower. He hasn't eaten breakfast. He thinks, okay, I'll do something useful after lunch. So he goes to the kitchen. He finds some food and eats quickly. No real meal, just snacks and tea. He feels full, but not satisfied. After lunch, Mark tells himself, now I will work. I will do something good. But instead, he feels sleepy. He goes back to his room and lies down. He thinks, just a short nap. But the nap is not short. It becomes 2 hours long. When he wakes up, it is already evening. He feels tired again. He picks up his phone. Again. He scrolls, watches more videos, and loses more time. He sees other people posting their work, their progress, their happy moments. He feels worse. The day passes like this, quiet and slow. He does nothing important. He does not study. He does not clean his room. He does not move his body. At night, he lies in bed and feels bad. He thinks, what did I do today? Why am I like this? Why can't I change? He feels guilty. He feels sad. He feels angry at himself. But then he tells himself, it's okay. Tomorrow I'll try. But deep down, he knows he said the same thing yesterday. And the day before that. This is Mark's daily life. It feels safe, but it is slowly breaking him. He is not lazy because he wants to be. He is just lost in a routine that feels too hard to escape. And sadly, he repeats this cycle again the next day. One morning, Mark checks his phone and sees something that makes his heart sink. His exam results are out. Slowly, he opens the website. He scrolls down, and there it is. He has failed. One of his college exams. He stares at the screen. His heart feels heavy. His chest feels tight. He knew he didn't study. He knew he wasn't ready. But still, he hoped he would pass. The next day, his teacher speaks to him after class. The teacher says, Mark, you're smart, but you're not trying. I don't see any effort. What's going on with you? Mark just shrugs. He gives a small smile. I've just been tired, he says. But deep inside, he feels something break. Later at home, his mother finds out about the failed exam. She looks at him with worried eyes and says, Mark, you're wasting your time. You're not a child anymore. You need to take life seriously. Mark nods. He says, okay, Mom, and walks away. He tries to laugh it off. He pretends like it doesn't matter, but it does. At night, he lies in bed and thinks about everything. The exam, his teacher's words, his mother's voice. He feels ashamed. He feels like he has disappointed everyone. He starts avoiding his friends. When they text him, he doesn't reply. When they ask him to hang out, he says he's busy, but the truth is, he's not busy. He just doesn't want to see them. He doesn't want them to see him. He also starts avoiding himself. He stops looking in the mirror. He doesn't want to see the tired eyes, the messy hair, the sad face. He doesn't like who he has become. Mark is not lazy on purpose. He is not a failure, but he is scared. He feels lost, and he doesn't know how to fix things. Every small problem feels too big. Every day feels harder than the last. This moment, failing the exam, is the first real sign of trouble. It is the moment when Mark starts to see that something is wrong. Something needs to change. But he doesn't know how. Not yet. One quiet night, Mark lies in his bed. The lights are off. The room is dark. The only sound is the soft ticking of the clock on the wall. It's almost midnight, but Mark cannot sleep. His body feels tired, but his mind is wide awake. He stares at the ceiling, blank. Still. Silent. Thoughts begin to move. Inside his head. Fast. Loud. Messy. He thinks about his life. He thinks about the exam he failed. He remembers what his teacher said. He hears his mother's voice again in his mind. You're wasting your time. Mark tries to close his eyes. He turns to the side, then to the other side. But sleep does not come. The silence feels heavy. The darkness feels deep. And then, a question quietly enters his mind. It is small, but it feels powerful. The question is this who I want to be? That's it. Just one sentence, but it feels like a storm inside him. He repeats it in his mind. Again, is this who I want to be? No answer comes. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know what to think. But even in that silence, he hears the truth. The silence is loud. It says everything. It says, no, this is not the life he wants. This is not the version of himself he dreamed of. This is not the boy who once believed he could do great things. Mark feels something heavy in his chest. He feels like crying, but no tears come. He feels stuck between who he is now and who he wants to become. And in that quiet moment, something inside Mark begins to change. He doesn't jump out of bed. He doesn't make a big plan. He doesn't have all the answers. But he feels something new, something he hasn't felt in a long time. He feels ready, not fully, not strongly, but just a little bit ready to try. Sometimes one question is all it takes to wake up. And for Mark, this was the question. The next morning, something is different. The alarm rings at 7:30 a.m. Mark opens his eyes. He feels tired. His body says, sleep more. His mind says, stay in bed. But something inside him says, no, get up. And this time, he listens. He slowly sits up. His eyes are still half closed, but he doesn't reach for his phone. He just sits there in silence. It's a new feeling. Then, he does something simple. He makes his bed. He pulls the blanket tight. He arranges the pillow. It takes only 2 minutes, but it feels good. It feels like order. It feels like a small win. After that, he walks to the kitchen. He drinks a full glass of water. Cold, clear, fresh. He feels it go down into his body. It wakes him up a little more. Still, he has no big plan. But he remembers one thing he heard once. When you don't know what to do, move your body. So he puts on his shoes and steps outside. The air is cool. The sky is soft and blue. The town is quiet. Most people are still asleep. Mark begins to walk. Just a short walk. 10 minutes. Not fast. Not far. His legs feel weak. His back hurts a little. But step by step, he keeps going. He sees trees. He hears birds. He feels the wind on his face. And for the first time in a long time, he feels alive. It's not a big moment. No music plays. No one claps. But inside, something small is happening. He is doing something different. He is breaking the pattern. He is showing up for himself. When he gets back home, he feels tired, but proud. He didn't fix everything in one day. He didn't change overnight. But this morning was not like the others. This morning, he chose to begin. And that is how change starts. Not with a big leap, but with a small step. One small step that can lead to many more. For Mark, this was the beginning of a new chapter. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that was enough. After his first small success, Mark sits at his desk with a piece of paper and a pen. He doesn't want to do anything big or complicated, just something small and clear. He writes a short plan, simple steps, easy to remember. Wake up at 7:30 a.m. Make the bed. Go for a 10-minute walk, read something. Anything. Turn off the phone for 1 hour. He reads the list again. It looks easy. It feels possible. He takes a piece of tape and sticks the paper on his wall, right above his desk, where he can see it every day. The next morning, the alarm rings. He opens his eyes. It's 7:30. His body feels heavy. His eyes want to close. A voice inside says, "Sleep a little more." But then he looks at the paper on the wall. He remembers the plan. He takes a deep breath and sits up. He makes his bed. He walks outside. He reads a few pages from a small book. He turns off his phone and puts it in a drawer. Just like that. The first day feels good, but the next few days are not easy. On day 3, it rains. He doesn't feel like walking. On day 4, he wakes up late. On day 5, his phone tempts him. He wants to scroll. His body says, stop. His mind says, this is hard. Why try? But there's another voice, small but strong. It says, keep going. So he does. Some days are better than others. Some days he follows the plan fully. Other days he misses 1 or 2 steps. But he does not quit. He tells himself, one small step is better than nothing. He begins to feel a little stronger. He smiles more. He thinks more clearly. His room stays cleaner. His heart feels a bit lighter. The plan on the wall becomes part of his life. It's no longer just a list. It's a promise to himself. Mark is not trying to be perfect. He's just trying to be better than yesterday. And that is enough. Mark is slowly building a new life. He is following his plan. He is waking up early, walking, reading, and staying away from his phone. But change is never easy. One afternoon, his friends send him a message. Hey Mark, we're going out. Want to come? Mark looks at the message. He misses them. He misses the fun. He wants to go. But he knows. If he goes, he may stay out late, skip his walk, sleep late the next day, and break his routine. So, he writes back. Not today, maybe, next time. He puts the phone down and sits quietly. It doesn't feel good. It feels lonely. He misses the comfort of his old life. The lazy days. The soft bed. The long nights watching videos and eating snacks. Those things were easy. They made him feel good for a little while. The phone is the hardest part. It still calls to him. It buzzes. It lights up. It tempts him. Just 5 minutes, he tells himself. But sometimes 5 minutes turns into 1 hour. 1 hour turns into 2. Some days he slips. He doesn't wake up on time. He forgets to walk. He spends too much time on his phone. He feels guilty. Before, this would make him quit. One bad day would become a bad week. But now, Mark is different. Now, he says to himself, it's okay. I made a mistake. But I can try again tomorrow. He learns that falling is part of the journey. He learns that discipline is not about being perfect. It's about getting back up after you fall. One bad day no longer means failure. It just means he is human. And each time he returns to his routine, it gets a little easier. His mind gets stronger. His focus grows. His belief in himself begins to return. Temptation doesn't disappear. The phone will always be there. Comfort will always try to pull him back. But now, Mark knows he has a choice. He doesn't have to say yes to every distraction. He can say no. And that small word, no, is helping him build a better life. It has now been 10 days since Mark started his new routine. Every day is still a little hard, but something inside him is changing. When he wakes up, he doesn't feel as tired as before. His body feels a little lighter. His steps feel stronger. He looks in the mirror, and his eyes look brighter, more alive. He begins to notice small things. He enjoys the quiet in the morning, the sound of birds, the feel of the fresh air, the peace of walking with no noise, no phone, no stress. He also begins to enjoy silence. Before, he always needed music or videos playing. Now, he can sit in silence for a few minutes without feeling bored or lonely. It feels peaceful. It feels good. Mark picks up a book one morning. At first, it's hard. His mind wants to stop, but he keeps reading, just one page, then another. This time, he does not quit. He finishes a full chapter, and when he closes the book, he smiles. He feels proud. It may be a small thing, but to him, it's a big win. He also starts finishing small tasks. He washes his dishes. He cleans his room. He folds his clothes. He even writes a short list of things to do each day. And he does them. Each small task gives him more strength, more confidence. And then, something special happens. One morning, as he's cleaning the table, his mother walks into the room. She looks at him for a moment. She doesn't say anything. She just smiles. It's a quiet smile. But for Mark, it means everything. It means she sees the change. It means she is proud. And that smile gives Mark more power than any words could. He doesn't need big praise. That small smile tells him, you're on the right path. Mark is not perfect. He still has hard days. But now, he can feel the difference. He is no longer lost in laziness. He is starting to live with purpose. And slowly, quietly, he is becoming someone he can be proud of. Mark has now been working on himself for a few weeks. He still has challenges. He still feels tired some mornings. He still hears the lazy voice in his head. But now, he sees a clear difference between the old Mark and the new one. The old Mark waited for motivation. He always said, I'll start when I feel ready. He waited for the perfect day, the perfect mood, the perfect energy. But that day never came, and nothing changed. The new Mark understands something important. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Now he does not wait to feel ready. He just starts, even if he feels lazy, even if he feels bored. He gets up, makes his bed, goes for his walk, reads his book. Not because he feels like it, but because he said he would. The old Mark needed someone to push him. He needed reminders. He needed help. He waited for his teachers, parents, or friends to tell him what to do. The new Mark has changed. Now he shows up, even when no one is watching. There is no teacher giving him marks, no coach shouting instructions, no friend checking his routine, but he still does it, because now he is doing it for himself. Some days, lazy thoughts still come. They say things like, just skip it today. You've worked hard already. One day won't matter. But now, Mark knows a secret. Thoughts are just thoughts. They don't control action. He lets the thought come. Then, he takes action anyway. He reminds himself, I'm in charge, not my lazy voice. That simple idea has changed everything. Now he doesn't need to fight his thoughts. He just moves forward step by step. The old Mark was controlled by comfort. The new Mark is guided by purpose. The old Mark dreamed of a better life. The new Mark is building it, one small action at a time. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about showing up, even when it's hard. And slowly, Mark is becoming the kind of person he used to only imagine. Mark's routine is now part of his life. He still has challenges, but his mind is no longer weak. It is stronger, more focused, more clear. Before, Mark used to run from problems. If something was hard, he avoided it. If something made him nervous, he looked the other way. He didn't want to face failure or fear. Now, things are different. When he feels fear, he stops and asks himself, what am I really afraid of? Then he does something simple, but powerful. He writes it down. He takes a piece of paper and writes, I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid people will laugh at me. I'm afraid I am not good enough. By writing it down, he starts to understand his fear. And when we understand something, we can begin to face it. Mark no longer tries to fix everything in one day. He has learned. Big changes come from small steps. So now, he asks himself just one question. What is the next thing I can do? Not the biggest thing, not the perfect thing, just the next thing. If his room is a mess, he cleans one corner. If he has a big project, he starts with the first page. If he feels sad, he goes for a short walk. Step by step, things get better. He learns that real change is not fast. It is not loud. It is not exciting every day. Real change is quiet. It is slow. It is uncomfortable. But it is real. And over time, small actions change his thoughts. His thoughts change his habits. And his habits change his life. His mind is not perfect. He still has bad days. But now, he knows how to respond. He does not panic. He does not quit. He stays calm. He writes it down. He takes the next step. This is strength, not in the body, but in the mind. And for Mark, this strong mind is now his greatest power. Mark has changed. He still lives in the same house. He still walks the same streets. But something inside him is very different now. He no longer calls himself lazy. Before, he believed that laziness was a part of who he was. He said things like, "I'm just not a hard-working person." But now, he knows that is not true. Laziness was just a habit, and habits can change. Now, Mark wakes up early almost every day. Some mornings, he doesn't want to. He feels tired, but he gets up anyway. Because now, he is someone who does what needs to be done. He makes his bed, eats a healthy breakfast, and goes for a walk. These small things remind him of who he is becoming. He has also started helping his father around the house. Before, he used to avoid it. He would make excuses. Now, he enjoys learning new things. How to fix a door, how to clean the garage, how to use tools. He feels useful. He feels responsible. A few weeks ago, Mark did something else that surprised even himself. He got a part-time job at a local store. He works a few hours a day, helping customers, organizing shelves, and learning how to talk to people. At first, it was scary. He was shy. He didn't want to make mistakes. But day by day, his confidence grew. Now, when he finishes a shift, he walks home with his head held high. He feels tired, but proud. He knows he is not perfect. There are still days when he feels lazy or unsure. But now, he doesn't let those feelings stop him. Mark is no longer just a boy with dreams. He is a young man with discipline, with action, with purpose. And most of all, he is proud of who he is becoming. Not because he has everything figured out, but because he shows up every day, even when it's hard. This is his new identity. And it's only the beginning. Mark's life didn't change in one day. It didn't change in 1 week. It took time. It took effort. And it took many small steps. There was no magic moment, no big event, no loud applause. Instead, it changed quietly. It changed when he made one small decision after another. At first, those decisions felt hard. Wake up early. Go for a walk. Turn off the phone. Read 1 page. Say no to distractions. These were small things. But small things, done every day, become powerful. Now Mark still hears the old voice in his head every morning. It says, "Sleep a little more. Skip today. You've done enough." But today, he knows how to answer that voice. He tells it, "No, I've got work to do." That simple answer is the difference between the old Mark and the new one. The old Mark listened to that voice. He believed it. He followed it. And nothing changed. But now, Mark understands something important. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to begin, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when no one is watching. That is the lesson Mark learned. Change is not about doing big things once. It's about doing small things again and again. Now, Mark is not perfect, but he is in control of his choices. He knows that each day is a chance to improve. He knows that one lazy thought doesn't have to control the whole day. He knows who he is and who he wants to become. That is how he took control of his life. Not by waiting Not by hoping, but by choosing. Every single day. And if Mark can do it, maybe you can too. You don't need to wait for motivation. You don't need to have everything planned. You don't need to feel strong, smart, or ready. You just need to start. That's the secret. That's what Mark learned. He didn't have a perfect plan. He didn't wait for the perfect day. He didn't try to change everything in one moment. He took one small step. Then he took another. That's how real change begins. Not with noise, not with big promises, but with quiet action. Mark's story is not about being perfect. It's about not giving up. It's about choosing a better life. One choice at a time. You can do the same. Start small. Wake up a little earlier. Put your phone down for 10 minutes. Drink water. Go outside. Read a page. Do something, no matter how small. You don't need to change your whole life today. You just need to do one thing today that your future self will thank you for. And when your mind says, stay in bed, do it tomorrow. You're not good enough. You can answer like Mark, no, I've got work to do. That's how you build strength. That's how you build discipline. That's how you take control of your life. You may fall sometimes. That's okay. You may feel tired, lazy, or lost. That's normal. But don't stop. One step, then another, again and again. Soon, you will look back and see how far you've come. You will feel proud, not because life is easy, but because you chose to keep going. This is your story now. You are not lazy. You are learning. You are growing. You are moving forward. And just like Mark, you can change your life. One step at a time.